So welcome your experience as it is. The breath. Whatever sensations appear to you. Nothing to do for now. Whatever thoughts appear to you, to simply let them be as they are. Their complete freedom. You don't need to engage in any way for now. You simply be and savor being. You are this aware presence. The effortless peace of being. Whatever appears to you, whether it's a thought, a bodily sensation, has a form, a certain form, like the sound of this voice. But you are this formless awareness. The reality of being. allow this presence to reveal itself. Revealing that it permeates your entire experience. Consciousness, awareness is beyond the mind, beyond the world, beyond thought. Transparent, borderless, shapeless. And your entire experience is made out of consciousness, this infinite, invisible reality. The reality that you are, not you as a body-mind, but is only one you, one real you, one true self. Which is awareness, consciousness. There is no separation, no duality in reality. And yet we speak in relative language. We make a distinction between the reality that perceives and that which appears. And disappears. We make the distinction that the reality which perceives neither appears nor disappears. And yet, it is clear that there is no distance between I and my perceptions. There is no distance between I and my thoughts and my sensations. But consciousness permeates our entire experience. And is not stirred by the movements that it conceives and perceives. Like the ocean is not stirred by the waves that it creates out of itself. Like the wide open sky is unaffected by the presence or absence of clouds. Is unaffected by the shape of the clouds. This distinction between that which appears and that which perceives is a necessary distinction. Simply because we give reality to the world, body, mind, overlooking the reality of consciousness. First, we come to the understanding that I am not an individual. That I am this aware presence, consciousness. That I am not the forms that I perceive. Which is the neti. I am not this, I am not that. And once we come to complete clarity that I am not an object in time and space, what remains is the dissolution of the boundaries. so that the world, body, mind is the world, body, mind of the universe. It's your world, your body, your mind is the world, the body, and the mind of the universe. First, I am somebody. An individual. Next, I am nobody. And finally, I am everybody and everything. Notice your borderlessness. Notice your formlessness. Notice the transparency of awareness. Notice the undeniability of being. The peace of being. Effortless and causeless, like a spring flowing, the source. Which has no cause, no precedent, no precedence to it. Notice that you are beyond precedence. So if you have any questions, anything that you would like to explore, hello, Holger.
Hello, Magdi.
Yes.
Last time there was a little email exchange after you sent out the recording about with one little phrase. It said, I believe that which changes cannot be aware.
Yes.
Can you say a little bit more about this?
Yes. So, in our experience, that which, oh, let me see, Lisa cannot turn her video on. I don't have any control over that, Lisa. So.
It should work again. I forgot to.
Oh, okay. Try it again now, Lisa. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So in our experience, Holger, that which changes, according to our experience, are thoughts. We have various thoughts, memories, ideas, images, and bodily sensations are constantly changing. And the perception of the world that we perceive is changing. And that which perceives is consciousness. But that was not your question. Your question is about how can that which changes, how can we say that does not perceive? Was that it? Yes? Mm-hmm. Yes. So a thought does not perceive, it's perceived. Yes, a thought doesn't perceive a sensation, doesn't perceive another thought. A sensation doesn't perceive a thought, doesn't perceive perception, doesn't perceive a sensation. So that which is perceived does not perceive. That's important to understand. The body, or the which means sensations, yes, are not knowing. They are known. Yeah, you know hunger. You know hunger. Hunger doesn't know you, or hunger doesn't know thirst, or hunger doesn't know the pain that you have in your knee, or hunger doesn't know the color of the wall in your kitchen. Only I am the knower. I meaning awareness, consciousness. I know. So knowing, meaning perceiving / knowing, is one of the attributes of consciousness. It is not an attribute of that which is perceived, that which is known. Yes. Now, we have a feeling that we are a man or a person, or we have a feeling that we are inside this room. And the feeling basically, it says, I am sitting on a chair, right? You can have a feeling, and you can sort of take apart the feeling and put it into words. And the feeling, if you put it into words, will say, I am sitting in the chair. Which means that there is something within the feeling, once you put it in words, which knows something about you. Right? Because it's basically the feeling is saying, I am sitting in a chair. So once we believe that, we say, oh yeah, I am sitting in the chair, we have, without being aware of it, we've given a feeling or a thought a false power of knowing something about you. You follow what I'm saying? And we do it all the time without noticing. We do it all the time. We've given attributed reality. And therefore, what comes with reality is knowingness to the world, body, mind. And so in our life, we use the world, body, mind, sensations, perceptions, thoughts, images as attributes of consciousness, as being qualities of consciousness. But they're not. It is consciousness that gives quality to a perception and calls it an oak tree. The oak tree doesn't know that it's an oak tree. There is no knowingness within the oak tree about that it's not a palm tree. It doesn't know that it's not a cat. Only consciousness knows this. Oh, this is a cat, and this is an oak tree, and it chooses. Consciousness chooses to sort of say this is a cat and this is an oak tree, because we could call the oak tree a cat, and we could call the cat an oak tree in a different time zone, or why not? We could, right? I mean, so the key thing is to attribute to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and not to attribute it to somebody else. So we attribute reality to consciousness. Consciousness. Now, meaning knowingness, love, beauty, understanding, wisdom belong to consciousness. Now, although we attribute reality to consciousness, we are not saying that the world, body, mind don't have a reality. Of course they do. They have a reality. And their reality is the reality of consciousness. Like, the shape of a wave or shape of a cloud. It has a shape. Not all clouds have the same shape. But the reality is not their shape if they appear like a dog or appear like a dragon or like an angel. Their reality is their essence. In this case, it would be, molecules of hydrogen and oxygen or whatever, in this metaphor. So the essence refers to the reality, not the form. The form. So when you look at the form, you are looking at a perception, for example. But when you look at its essence, you don't find its essence in the shape. You don't find the essence of the rose in the rose. You find the essence of the rose in your appreciation, for example, or in your enjoyment, or in your perception, or in your inner valuation, let's say, of the rose. So the essence of the rose is in you, not you as a body, but you as awareness. So beauty, there is no beauty in the rose. The beauty is in you. You have the qualities of beauty and love, wisdom, understanding. And so when you are perceiving beauty, it is your beauty which you're perceiving in the form of a rose, or in the form of a sunset, sunshine, or the sensation of the wind, or the sound of a singer, or a conversation with a friend who appreciate you experiencing the beauty. And of course, in the relationship, you're experiencing the love, you say. But the love is not in the form, it's not in the shape or in the body. It's in you as consciousness, you say.
But how amazing that for decades I overlooked this.
Yes, we all do, because we have the download,
Yeah.
we're talking about this. But when you contemplate in terms of reality, not in terms of what does the thought say, or the feeling say, or your learning say, or your past trauma say. Of course, you have to look at reality, so that you come upon the understanding, because understanding is an aspect of reality. So there isn't a reality outside of understanding, or understanding outside of reality. So consciousness and understanding, they are one, you see. So in coming to the understanding of consciousness, you have to come through understanding, or to come to understanding, you have to come through consciousness, you see. Not through the realm of experiences, memories, sensations, and the shapes of the forms that you experience, not in terms of the forms that you experience, but their essence.
Thank you. Thank you, Magdi.
Yes, Olga, yes. So what does then the implications are about the thoughts, the sensations, the perceptions, but that which we experience, of course. What's the implication? What I mean, if the reality is not in them, in the events, in the world, in the body, but in their essence. What does that mean? What are the implications then for our experience of the world, the body, and the mind? Because they're available to us. We are living also. We are talking, we're eating, we're traveling, we're inviting friends, we're interacting with the world. There are governments, there are all sorts of things happening, you say. Now the implication is upon your understanding of the essence, then you come to understanding of the oneness, the one essence. Then there's an understanding that it's all these different appearances they relate to one reality. They're all God's creation. They're God's dream. So that brings into you a certain wisdom. You understand that in God's kingdom there is nothing at stake. It's all God's creation. So the sense of you're still interacting in the world, but there is the sense of
resistance.
Yes, resistance, anxiety, worry, defending, etc. That mellows down, and you recognize in everybody the face of God, your face. You recognize your face in everybody's face, and that's quite a quite a drastic change from seeing a communist, a fascist, a democrat, a republic. You know, it's a so all the shapes and all the forms you see them as your shape of your shape and your form, the shape of God, of your true nature. And in the world, because you're no longer perceiving the world as separate from your very self, you live in the world in a certain way, you know, but it's always in the moment, because we don't really live in time. We live in the moment, you know, in this moment. So then it becomes more where the tire hits the road, where the tire hits the road is in the moment. It's like, how am I now? How am I meeting my experience? How am I interacting? How am I perceiving? How am I thinking? And because when we say I, there is like the aspect of the mind, this specific mind, but I as the consciousness, the essence of this particular experience, which differs from mind to mind. Let's say its essence is the same. So because I is the same, because it's the same essence, and understanding has impact. It's the understanding that has the impact, not so much having the rallying the correct the troops under the certain flag. You have a big rally, a lot of people behind one flag. That's irrelevant, because that has no impact on at the level of the essence. That's only at the surface of the surface. It's the surface, and at the surface it's always movement. It's always movement, but the surface is connected to the whole. The surface has an inner, realm, and so the inner realm is the vastness. Is the surface is just like it's the skin of the vastness, as a way of speaking. So of course there is no skin. So when at the vastness level, there is the understanding operates at the vastness level, and it affects the surface. It affects the skin, let's say. But from the point of view of the wave, it has no understanding of that. From the point of view of the wave is, what are you talking about? All I'm experiencing is the world of turmoil, from the perspective of the wave, because understanding, the understanding is not available to the wave. It's only available to consciousness, because the wave imagines itself to be separate from consciousness. So the wave is an imaginary wave. There is an actual wave. This is why sometimes, sages say there is no suffering. Of course, I don't speak that. I don't say that. But sometimes, it's appropriate to say that, because the illusion of suffering, because suffering is an illusion aspect to suffering. And sooner or later, we have to get it. We have to grog that the illusion of suffering. Because if suffering is not an illusion, if it's real, then, we're doomed to suffer, end of conversation. Let's all suffer. But obviously, this is not at all what we are talking about.
So I am the wave becoming the ocean.
Yeah,
it's just a joke.
In a way, yes, of course. But there is an important, understanding that that the wave has never been anything else but the wave,
Yes,
you
yes,
know.
yes,
So
yes.
it's, and so it's the wave is the ocean waving. It's the ocean waving. So it's never been anything else but the ocean, or water. You know, water. I mean, the wave and the ocean have always been H2O. You know. So, but the becoming, you know, the becoming refers to A becoming B, or B becoming C, or A becoming A1 or A2 or A prime or whatever. But that means A is not B. Becoming means A is not B, which is duality. But we don't experience A is not B except in conceptual, which is okay. Conceptually, we say, okay, the oak tree is not the palm tree. See? But when we take a close look at the oak tree and the palm tree, we find that their essence is the same. The mycelium and and there's so much to it. When we take a closer look, you know, scientifically, we find, wait a minute, there is so much more in common. And the more we look, the more we find in common than in distinction or in differences. So, because if A is not B, then A can never become B. It can never become B. How could A become B? It's in order for A to become B, they have to already have some connection. If their A is different from B, you cannot close a gap. You cannot, let's conceptually close a gap or you build a bridge. No, it's not possible for, if A is A and B is B as two different, the two different isnesses, that means two separate realities. But there are two separate realities, because all realities are, if we speak of 5 realities, then there is something that is speaking of these 5 realities. There is something that has some understanding of these 5 realities, or some kind of even a conceptual understanding of these 5 realities. So there is something that is encompassing these 5 realities, which is the reality, the one reality. So you can't you can't make 2 separate things one. But we only can separate things conceptually.
So we can only separate one conceptually into many pieces.
Yes, conceptually. Yes, of course. And it's okay, because...
And this is our suffering.
Our suffering is in believing that the separation is real. Believing that it's that when we separate one into the many, that those many are actually separate realities. No, this is why we look at the essence, we look at reality. We say that which cannot be removed, that which can neither be added or removed from your experience. So when you go to that contemplation of reality, of the essence of existence, of experience, of being, that's when you come to that understanding. And then, of course, you play the game of a butterfly is different from a rose, it's different from a nightingale, and etc. So the play, like the children, when we're children, we go into the playground. We invent so many games, different games. You know, we don't play the same game or blah blah blah. No, we play different games, and we get excited. Oh wow, what is this game? You know, and so then I teach you the game, or we teach me the game. Say, oh wow, cool. How do you do this? Then we want to play it. You know, we play it, and we keep changing it. We start changing it.
And being a person is just another game.
Yeah, being being a person is God's game, yes.
Yes.
And of course, part of God's game is to realize the game, to get the
Yes.
game, to grog the game, you see.
It feels good in the heart.
Okay, Holger, lovely. Okay.
Thank you.
Nice talking with you, Holger. Any questions?
Hey, Magdi, it's Esther.
Esther. Hello, Esther.
You know, after your discussion with Holger, I just finally grogged the mirror thing.
Mirror.
The mirror.
Yes.
Everything I perceive is simply a mirror, right?
Yeah, yes, one could say it's a mirror because it's yourself, you know.
Yeah. Like I guess I never really understood that. Like
Yes.
when I look at the beauty of anything,
Yes.
it's a mirror.
Yes, it's a mirror, and
Yeah.
you are that transparency. In fact, the mirror, yes, it's a good metaphor. So it's a transparent mirror. It's like a mirror where you're perceiving images and all sorts of things, but the mirror is not an objective mirror. It's not. It's not limited to the X and Y axis. It's not limited to the surface, to the flatness of the mirror. It's a transparent mirror. It's a mirror that you know that symbol of the infinity, the symbol of the infinity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like two. How do you? But
What's the name of it? Oh,
Yeah.
it's that thing.
That symbol it's similar like that, but it's also
The Mobius strip.
Okay. It's that symbol, and it's also it's in multiple dimensions, and it moves. So anyways, I'm complicating things. Yes.
No, I appreciate it all. Thanks. Yeah, help.
The important thing also to understand is that it's not physical. It is not phenomenal. That the phenomenal is noumenal. That the form is in fact formless. It's reality. It's truth. It's makeup is formless. The form is formless. So we're not just sort of perceiving forms that have a form reality. No, the forms are in fact formless. So what gives a form, a specific form, is the concept, not our experience. In our experience, it is beyond language, beyond mind. But then there is the conceptual realm that classifies and categorizes so-called A, B, C, this, that, table, chair, door, car, etc., feeling, emotions, etc. So that the phenomenal realm is conceptual. In the sensory realm, the sensory, like you go to the sensation of your feet on the ground now, right? At the purity of your experience, at the reality of your experience of your feet on the ground, there are no feet, there is no feet, and there is no ground. But conceptually, there are feet on the ground. So when we refer to our experience in its essence, before the conceptualization of the experience, then we are coming to the non-phenomenal, because we haven't yet formulated the phenomena. We haven't yet formulated. We haven't separated the experience into feet and ground. We haven't done that yet. So, but yet there is the experience. But it's non-objective, non-phenomenal. So the phenomenal is conceptual. And I'm not being critical of it. I'm not, poo-pooing it. I'm saying it has its place, but it doesn't refer to the reality of our experience. So in your experience, before you formulate Esther, before the thought Esther, or the sensation Esther, or memory Esther, or even Esther arises, your experience is you are, but not an Esther. It hasn't yet been conceptualized into Esther, and done this and done that, whatever comes along with the concept. So in your experience, before the conceptualized phenomenal realm, your experience is nominal. This is why we say in the reality of our experience, at the essence of our experience, there is no reality to any object. There isn't. We haven't yet conceptualized an object. Say, you haven't yet conceptualized yourself. So when we say being, not knowing, when we talk about consciousness is the reality of our experience. It conceptualizes, but without actually separating itself into separate realities. So Esther, which is conceptualized, consciousness conceptualizing itself as Esther, doesn't separate itself, doesn't actually become a separate form, a separate reality called Esther. Like the ocean, when it makes a wave and it says, okay, well, this wave, I'm going to call this wave Esther or this wave Magdi. It's not actually separating itself into two separate waves. It's still the ocean. It's one ocean. But yet, the wave Esther and the wave Magdi, different shape, different form, different perceptions, different experiences. So at that level, at a certain level, the ocean is experiencing via wave Esther and via wave Magdi a different perception. But although the consciousness is experiencing or perceiving different perceptions, it's still the same one consciousness. It doesn't actually become a separate consciousness. So the consciousness that you know you are is the consciousness that I know I am. Yes. You know yourself to be conscious, to be aware. This awareness, there is nothing within this awareness that says this awareness is not that, or is not. It's something you add on. We add on to awareness, consciousness. Oh, it's mind. It's different from the awareness of Jimmy in downtown Tennessee. This just a thought, an addition. We choose to do so. We choose to make these distinctions, these separations. We meaning who we? Consciousness. Only consciousness is doing this. There's only one player in town. It's only one reality. It is consciousness. So when you believe that you are a separate self, it is what you are choosing to do. You're choosing to do it because for some reason you're enjoying it. You see, so in a way, there are no victims. We are not a victim. We are not a victim. We are the freedom. We are the reality. And we can choose to be, me, my life, my past, my future, blah, blah. We choose that. Me meaning whatever you choose. Me could be your tribe, could be your family, could be your body, could be whatever. Your story, your image. You can play any game you want. That's the freedom of consciousness. And consciousness is extremely good at playing games because it's the inventor, it's the only inventor, it's only source. Infinite potential is available to it and more and more. So, and we don't even know what sort of games we're playing. I mean, obviously we're playing the game of the ant and the deer and the tiger and the lion, and the butterfly and the wind and the rain and the sunshine and galaxies. But it can be so infinite and so intricate, and so and what's really fascinating is that we don't know the details of our creation. All we know is that our creation is infinite. We don't know the details of our creation. Why? That's how we choose it. Maybe one could say that although it is all known at the level of consciousness, it's not possible for it to be known at the level of any particular mind, which is a creation of consciousness, because it would overheat that mind, and it will burst it, it will burn it. in a fraction of a second, it will go. So, yeah.
You know, Meg,
Yes.
you often tell us to live in the world in an indifferent way. And what that means to me is it's almost like a preconceptual or not being conceptual.
Yes.
It's being in this appearance, but not naming everything or getting involved in every little thing.
Yes.
So I understand that.
Yeah. It's your freedom to, I think I like to be involved in a lot of things that I enjoy, So I would say it makes sense to celebrate creation, and celebration is always happy, So, the unhappiness, if you look at the unhappiness in the celebration, what is it? It's not in the celebration. It's not because, there is war and famine in the world. That's not what makes you unhappy. What makes you unhappy is your fear of death, your inner concerns about me, about my ending, so unhappiness isn't because we are perceiving unhappy things. Unhappiness is because we believe ourselves and we feel ourselves to be limited, to be mortal, to be a particular limited self, to be out of touch, to be lacking, to be regretting, to be envying, that's the unhappiness. So we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. But in order for us not to spoil the celebration, we need to play a different game than the me separate me game. We need to play the game of consciousness. Hey, what's at stake? What am I? What am I? Am I the body? Am I the spirit? Am I this? Obviously not. I am consciousness. I'm this awareness. I'm the reality. So I play that game. Say game. You could call it a game, but it's more happy. It resonates. It makes sense that I am the reality that perceives rather than I'm the body that I perceive. It makes sense. At a deeper level, it makes sense. It goes against our conditioning, of course. I understand that. But it makes sense. It makes sense that consciousness is real. For consciousness, nothing at stake. Consciousness is not personal. And consciousness is the perceiver, and there is no other reality. Therefore, it is also the creator. Can the mind comprehend all of that? No. Can the heart comprehend all of that? Yes. Okay, Esther. Is it getting wintry out there or not yet? Yes.
I just finished a very frustrating.
Yeah, Frank?
Oh, no, Maggie, I was just saying, yes, it's getting wintry out here.
Yes. Yes.
I was just freezing my butt off out there. It was 32 degrees and windy.
Where are you, Frank? Remind me, I keep forgetting.
Well, I live in Boston, but right now I'm in Queens, New York. I'm at LaGuardia Airport. I'm flying down to Florida for a week. So I had to park my car out there and then come in. It was really cold out.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
Safe travel. Yeah.
I'm at the new terminal. There's a brand new terminal here at LaGuardia. They renovated the whole thing. Well, not renovated, just knocked everything down and built a whole new terminal. So it's really nice. I'll give you a little peek.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very nice.
It looks really beautiful, very vast.
Yeah.
You said LaGuardia, right?
Yeah, LaGuardia.
Yeah,
Queens.
LaGuardia used to be such an old airport. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It needed some
Oh
renovation.
yeah. Oh, it was
it's
really,
good.
really bad. It was pretty disgusting. Now it's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
beautiful.
disgusting. You're right. You're right. Yeah. And so
Yep.
I hope they've also arranged the buses and the trains to New York City, because that used to be.
They're working on that. I think they're going to bring the train in somehow. They're going to bring some kind of train
Right.
line, because right now they don't have it.
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
You have to go to Europe for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You have to go to Europe to get trains that go right to the airport.
Right. Well, but LaGuardia is a major airport up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Have a safe trip, Frank. Yeah.
Thanks for the satsang today. It was great.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
any
they're making us. I was just gonna say they're making us wear masks, but I think I can take it off just for a second.
Yeah. Right.
Hopefully I won't get thrown out.
Yeah. Suffocate wearing that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, Magdi.
Yes, George. Hey, George. Yes.
Hi there. You said 2 words during the meditation today, which really resonated with me. And those 2 words were savor being.
Yes.
It seems to me that that's the bottom line. Savor being.
Yes.
Just savor being.
Yes.
I don't have to care about phenomena, lumina, oceans, waves, mirrors, infinity. What the hell? Just savor being.
Yes.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Savor being.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It reminds me, years ago when I was in boarding school, I was like living, at the school, and I must have been, 12. I mean, a young boy, and we used to have a time of recreation time, and so during recreation we're playing, and then the bell rings. When the bell rings, then we all run and we stand in 2 lines, and there is the priest, the surveillant, the person who's watching, and then we walk by and we go into different classes, So I remember I had just bought an ice cream. They have a little kiosk, where you can buy something. So I bought an ice cream, and I was eating the ice cream when the bell rang, and I didn't want to throw the ice cream away. So I had to run very quickly to the line. So I ran to the line with the ice cream, and I'm like trying really hard to quickly eat the ice cream, sort of not to be also seen by the priest, because you're not supposed to do that. But the priest saw me, and he walked to me, and I was like, oh my goodness. I am in trouble. He comes to me and he says, Badawi, don't eat the ice cream so fast. He spoke to me not in English. He said, take your time, savor it. Savor the ice cream. And I was like, oh, wow, yes. I don't know that I was able to savor it because I was so conditioned to be scared, of the whatever, to be scared of something. But I remember that it's just to savor life, savor the ice cream.
Yes, savor the ice cream,
Yeah.
savor being, yes, savor it all.
Yeah, savor being. Being is like, savor being. So we take time sometimes where we just sort of just be. Just be. There's too much becoming somebody, be somebody, achieve something, think about something, worry about something. There's too much of that. It's too much.
Right, yes.
And what for? You're burning the candle so quickly. Let the candle take its time to burn with the wick, the time it takes. You don't need to put a torch on it, you know?
Right.
Anyways, thank you, George. Yes, thank you all. Very lovely to
Thank
be
you,
with you
Maggie.
all. Holger and Fernando. Hola, Fernando, Lisa, Frank. Yes, Lisa, Frank. Nice to see you. And Zoe, Holly, Grace, and Shiva. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Magdi.
Magdi.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Maggie.
Safe trip, Frank.
Oh, thanks, Grace.
Have fun in Florida.
I will.
Nice and sunny.
The weather alone is going to make me have a good time.
Oh, yeah. Enjoy.
Yeah. Thanks.
See
I
you.
will.